a busy couple of weeks, but I wanted to come in before I started doing a whole bunch of food reviews and talk to leaders, talk about leadership and some things that I'm saying, and just want to plant out there for you to chew on a little bit, to you know think about when you're dealing with your teams, and that is your leader. So, dear leader, you are a steward, not an owner. I say that because the tide is changing. I was watching CNN yesterday, and the poor folks were like hanging their heads about the fact that not only is it an employees market, but like we are driving all kinds of decisions right now. And employers are hard pressed to find the right people, to keep people. Some people don't even want to work. So they're increasing salaries more than ever before. I don't know if this is going to bubble out and burst at some point, but as we're talking about people, the human resources of it all, I think it's important that we continue this conversation about leadership and connectedness and how they relate to their people. And I think the biggest bug that I can put in your ear that's been pressing on my mind and been pressing on my heart this week is this idea of stewardship over your people and not ownership over your people. And as I was thinking about this and thinking about my own experiences with past leaders that I have, they've taken this, not everyone, but they've taken this ownership approach. And in my mind, even yesterday, I was thinking of myself, who in the world thought it was okay to see employees as owners? I mean, as like property that you own. I'm like, where did that come from? Oh, we don't even need to go there. But I'm noticing that there is this relationship over I am the person in charge and you are not. So you do what I say. And we know generationally when it comes to the workplace, that is how the corporate world has operated to the point where people are fleeing work, and that shouldn't be happening. But one part of this cracked foundation is this sense of I you're here, I own you, essentially. We might not be saying it out loud, which is why I keep saying it to you so you can be mindful and think about that in terms of somewhere in your subconscious. Is this how you're looking at and treating your people? Let me give you a quick definition of stewardship. Oh, let me make sure everybody can hear me. Okay, yeah, this was not a text about people not being able to hear me. Okay, good. Um, Stewardship, in definition, is the careful and responsible management of something entrusted to one's care. So, as a leader, your job is to steward the gifts and the talents of the people in your care. You were promoted or placed, appointed to this leadership role because you were trusted to care for other people, not boss, not bully, not be able to snap your finger and people should just kind of up and run just because you're the leader, the authority in the room, and that's what you feel like people should be doing. No, but your job is to care for these people. Essentially, you have a role, you have KPIs, you have goals, targets, strategic things that you're supposed to be doing, but without the people, you can't hit that, right? So in order to you got to partner with your people. Let's step away, let's step back from this overseer approach, because as we know from history that didn't end well, didn't go well, but into how can I do my work but also launch other leaders. Your legacy should be about launching people into greatness. You should be having conversations with people who used to work with you to say, thank you for doing this for me. Thank you for standing in the gap for me. Thank you for pushing me. Thank you for shining a light on this area that I didn't even want to look at. Thank you. That's what your role is, to help push somebody up on the ladder, essentially, in terms of your work. We have to remember that employees are human beings, just like you are a human being. They have their own parents. They don't need parents. Even if you have been in the business for a while and you feel like, oh, I could mentor them and give them so much insight and advice, perhaps, but it should be through the lens of stewardship and not like, oh, I'm a big sister to them. Oh, I'm a parent to them. That doesn't actually help. That can help make them resent you because people are smarter than you. They're adults, right? We're at this point, just assume we're talking all about adults. They're an adult, so they can make their own decisions. Your job is to cultivate what they have, come alongside them, see where they can glean from you, and then you two can create something really powerful and exciting and excellent together. Employees do have a responsibility. This is not absolving them from it, but they have a responsibility and accountability for their role. They were hired, there was an agreement signed. So there's responsibility in terms of what they were hired to do, and for the role. They don't necessarily owe you specifically. Ouch! I know I'm stepping on some toes, and I'm saying this as being a leader and understanding. And I know how frustrating it can be when you have something that needs to get done, and you have people that are supposed to be doing it and they're not. So that can encourage us to let me go ahead and exercise my authority because I'm tired of waiting on this. I'm tired of this. It just needs to get done. Time and a place for that. An emotional intelligence will tell you what that time and place is, but to assert effort like that is just going to make people run from the for the hills. And I will raise my hand and tell you that I would be one of those people. Like, okay, really? Great. Well, let me go ahead and work on my exit strategy because I what's that song? You don't own me. Yeah, that's littered all through this. Okay, so just think about that as I'm saying this. But we could work together when you sit with me eye to eye, and we can have a discussion. I understand that you have more authority, but that does not negate my place in this whole role of the situation. But I'll also be careful to tell you when that happens, or you feel like people are rebelling, if they aren't listening to you, people are just going off and doing their own thing. I get it. Right? You just want to shake them real good. We know you can't, but you might be imagining it. But I just want to encourage you not to take those actions personally because it can feel like they're doing this to you. But people have their own accountability. They have their own vices that they need to work through. It could be a maturity thing that they haven't reached yet, or maybe it's some form of self sabotage. And it has nothing to do with you. The best thing that you could do is to still be a pathway to be good soil of which to harvest. If they choose not to do that, then that's completely on them. But and you stewarding people and stewarding your team, again, I liken it to soil. Think about all the harvest that comes from your stewardship. Not beating the soil down, not beat. What is that gonna do? Man, I got this seed in the ground. I need this seed to grow. Ew. Like that's but a lot of people do that. Or you might stonewall someone or avoid them or whatever the heck may happen. But ultimately, people are responsible for the role. They don't owe you, and you don't necessarily owe them, but there is a two-way accountability. And that's how you should see each other as accountability partners from two different angles with two different approaches for how to do that. So, for my friendly fellow Gen Xers, to my boomers, I love y'all. I really do. All of my mentors are somewhere in that range. But as an employee, if I feel like I'm walking in the door like I owe you something, like I said, I will run for the hills. And I'm a millennial. I'm also speaking for my Gen Zers. It's the same thing. So we have got to find a way to communicate with new language. The us versus them is not going to work. So you have to change your approach. And it starts with your own self-awareness. It starts with seeing yourself as a cultivator, which is a very high responsibility and something to be proud of. But also with closing communication gaps. That's where a lot of things get lost. Communication is a derivative of behavior, which is its own language. So if you've seen my posts, you hopefully you've seen them or gotten some of my emails. I'm hosting a training specifically about closing communication gaps, right? So we can have these better conversations, so we don't have these silos, so we don't have these pockets of resentment, so that we can kind of knock off this sense of ownership and breed excellent employees, really talented professionals. And it's just iron sharpening iron at that point. So if you haven't already, sign up for it. It'll really shake your paradigm in a great way and make you more effective. I'm all about helping people not waste anything. I hate wasting any and everything. My time, my energy, my effort, my M&Ms. I mean, y'all know me and the crumble cookies. The ones that I haven't eaten, do not think they've gone to waste. I froze them for whenever I want a little something sweet and the week is just not doing what it needs to do. I will pull out one of my frozen ones and eat them. But saying that to say, this is making sure that none of your effort, none of your expertise, none of your background, any of that goes to waste. We're going to take all of that and push it through a lens of better communication and influence and impact so that you can spend less effort trying to get simple things done. All right. That's all I got for you today. Thanks for hanging out with me this afternoon. Let me know if you have any questions. Let me know if you can relate. Let me know if you said, oh, yep, I've been acting as an owner and not a steward when it comes to my people. I'd love to hear it. All right. Thank y'all. I'll check y'all later.